All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I love seeing your beautiful faces. What a good turnout tonight. So exciting. So I wanted to talk to you guys. Last week in our call, we had asked what is an area of your business that you struggle with. And one of the common themes was goal setting, how to go about setting goals, how to work towards your goals, this just kind of mysterious thing that we call goals. That's something that I feel that I'm getting better at. I'm certainly no professional at this area, but I'm learning and failing forward through it. But there are 5 different categories that I set goals in, and I want to kind of break down each category and some tips at the end to work through when you're setting your goals. So the 5 categories are number 1, your personal growth and your personal journey. And I'll break down these, but number 2, social media. Number 3, financial. Number 4 is rank. And then number 5 is your daily to-do list. So I'm going to kind of go in that order, and then at the end, make sure to write down your questions, and we can talk through those at the end. So for the first one, this one seems like a no-brainer, but it's very, very easy in our coaching business and in the coaching world to let your personal journey fall by the wayside. And this is such a huge thing to let happen and so hard to recover from just from a personal standpoint. But the beauty of being a coach is that it holds you to a higher level of accountability than you would ever have if it was just you on your own. But there's a couple of different, when I'm setting goals for my personal health and my personal journey, I'm setting goals with things. I have a weight goal, like a goal weight. I have a size goal. I have a specific piece of clothing. That's my goal. I have a personal development goal. This is one I struggle with, but I have a personal development goal of how much each day I want to get done. I have a fitness goal. So you could break it down into, like for me in 2017, I like to run a 5K. So I'm not a runner. I hate running so much, but I would like to run a 5K. I would love to run a 5K as a team. I think that would be so fun. But running a marathon, completing a certain number of programs, challenging yourself in your fitness, because one of the risks of, this is why I always challenge my coaches to never stick with the same program for more than 2 months, 2 to 3 months at a time, because you get complacent in your journey, whether you are intentionally complacent or not. If you do 5 rounds of 21-day fix on end, it's very easy to not go up in weights and to not do as many reps or to not challenge yourself. And the beauty of doing all the different programs is that you are well-rounded as a coach, and you can share with your potential customers what would be a best fit. So you have a greater knowledge of the programs. So one of the things that I do is I figure out what my long-term goal is. So when I first started out, my goal was to be my goal weight is 140. Now, when I started, I was 225. So that felt so impossibly far away. And so what I did was I broke it down into months, and then I set a goal per week. So whatever it is, especially with running, things like that, you can set your goals and then kind of backwards engineer it to be able to set your weekly goals. So you want to set your big goal, break it down into a monthly goal, and then break that monthly goal down into weekly goals that are attainable and not so overwhelming. I create action steps with those goals. So drink certain amount of water. So my goal is to drink 100 ounces of water a day, do a certain amount, do 20 minutes of personal development a day, get 6 workouts in a week. And so if I have a baseline for what I'm aiming for each week, that helps me set a fitness and a personal goal. I will stress, and this is something that there was a really great call that, what was her name? Raina Odell. She did a few weeks ago. Phenomenal call. So if you are struggling in your own journey, this call is huge. She talked about how she's a very successful coach. Megan's shaking her head. I sent that to her. It was a great call. she is a very successful coach and got to a very high level of success, but plateaued in her business because she was so busy helping other people, she forgot to take care of herself. And so in her own journey, she gained back a ton of weight. She was very unhappy physically. She felt awful. And so she talked about what happened in her business when she got back on track and again was living the testimony of what Beachbody is. So that was number one, is personal and fitness health related goals. And I would stress that make sure to include your mental health in that. So a lot of times we focus on just the physical, what we look like, what we feel like, but it's so much more than that. And personal development is a huge, huge, huge thing in that area, and something to help you overcome the no's and the obstacles that are going to be thrown at you. So number two is social media. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because this one is a pretty basic. We've done a lot of calls and it's all on my YouTube channel, but here's some different categories that I set for myself for my social media. So I have a target number of posts that I'm trying to put up each day. So if you were to aim for a certain number of posts each day, what would that be? If it's 1, 2, for me, I try to put up 4 to 5, and only 1 or 2 of them are Beachbody related. So I want a heavy dose of my personal life and what's going on with me, and then a little sprinkle of Beachbody. So I have a post goal, so a daily post goal. I recommend having a default folder on your phone, and as you're scrolling and you see funny memes that you like, memes, however you say that word, funny graphics that you like, or if you take a whole bunch of pictures and store them in a place so that you can just post on the go. If your post goal is 2 times and you get your workout video in and you need one more personal goal, have that default folder on your phone so you can have something to post on the fly. That is so much better than to skip posting for a day or a couple of days or things like that. When you do that, people don't view you as consistent and they don't view you as reliable. So set a weekly transformation goal. So a number of transformations that you want to put up each week. For me, I aim for at least 1, if not 2. This can be different for every coach. It's wherever you're at in your journey. And it does not have to be a physical transformation. For me, like I'm gonna be doing a post soon on my emotional transformation. So before coaching, I was very irrational, quick to anger, short-tempered. Jennifer's smiling because she knows it's true. Short-tempered. I'm still feisty. Let's get that straight. But I have so much more compassion and grace when it comes to dealing with people who are just straight up dumb, and dealing with those things, those situations. Now, in the moment, I might still get really mad, but my response to them is love and compassion. And that's such a different, before I would have chewed them up and spit them out. And so that's a different transformation for me, but they don't have to just be physical. Our physical transformation is amazing. Heck yes. But most of us are not where we want to be in our journey yet. And so we have to share everything in between and view it as a well-rounded transformation, not just here, I lost 75 pounds. Now what? It's here, let me tell you about my mental state. Let me tell you about my coping skills when I get anxious. Let me tell you about how I'm dealing with my stress. Those are all transformations that we have. So I set a transformation goal. I set a daily friend request goal. So adding to my network. There are different ways to do this, and I am happy to go over that. But I started with adding my challengers friends. So some of my, I think maybe Heidi's the only one on here that I probably did that with, but added. And so now that she's a coach, I go through and I make sure to block all her friends from my stuff because now they're hers. But that's a great way to expand your network with people that are not sketchy. So adding friends of your challengers. So I have a daily adding new friends goal. If you're new and this is a very early journey for you in your coaching business, then you're probably not at the adding and making new friends stage of your business, and that is okay. But if you're adding people that you might know, go ahead and do it now so that they can watch you for the next 3-4 months until you run out of your warm market. Okay, so that's social media. Number 3, financial. So this one I'm pretty passionate about because obviously you all know how drastically Beachbody and my coaching business has affected my family financially. And it's been such a blessing to us. But the biggest thing with this is to be honest about what you want from your financial future with Beachbody. What would it really look like to reach your goals financially with your business? If you want to retire yourself from corporate America, break that down. What does that mean each month that you need to make? Break that down into a week. And that way you kind of have something to be shooting for and go from there. And we'll go into rank and how that is affected with your finances. But the biggest piece of this is to backwards engineer that. So for me, I knew I had to break it down and I have to have X amount of dollars every week or X amount of dollars every month to be able to cover our food and our mortgage in order for me to stay home. So for me, it was a very tangible goal. Now that has changed now that I'm home full time. Now I've got bigger goals. Now I want to do bigger things, but I have a number in mind now that I want to achieve for my family. For 2017, for me, my biggest thing is consistency. I want to be consistently seeing a certain number every month so that I can trust that that's going to be there. So hold on. Okay, so for backwards engineering, if you want to pay for your shakes, that's the very first step with this financial portion. That's a great goal for every coach, no matter what level you're at, no matter where you're at in your business, is to pay for your shakes. Because then you're breaking even every month. In order to do this, all you have to do is sell 3 challenge packs. So 3 people that you sign up each month and your shakes are paid for, because the commission on a challenge pack will compensate your business fee and your shakes every single month. So you have a visual now of what it would look like to pay for your shakes. You would do the same thing with your other goals. So with your bigger goals, things like that. And that requires growing a team underneath you to get commission and things like that, which we'll go into in a second. I will say this, remember that huge goals. So for those of you that really, like, in your heart of hearts, you think, okay, this is what I want to do full time. This is my passion. This is my love. This could be everything that I've wanted and more. Huge goals require giant sacrifices if you want to reach them super fast. If you want to go at your own pace, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. We are all beautifully different, and we are all going to reach our goals in a beautifully different way, in a beautifully different time frame, and that is amazing. But remember that if you have lofty goals, that's going to require sacrifice of some kind every single day. I already talked about that. Hold on. I started small when I was breaking it down. So for me, my first goal was the shakes. Then it was shakes for me and my husband. Then it was an extra $100 on top of that. So I broke it up into very small goals each month so that I could reach my long-term goal. So that's the basics of the financial side of things. I would encourage you to reach out to your upline to get a help breakdown. Megan, I'm more than happy to help you out. You're fine. To reach to your upline so that you can have some guidance on realistically what it will look like to reach the numbers that you want to reach. Time frame wise, financially, like what rank that would be associated with, things like that. So that brings me into rank. There's a lot of us on this call are very early on in the ranking side of things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there are certain tiers that I have seen in my own business where when I ranked to Emerald, I was almost every month consistently paying for my shakes because I was a business builder. I was inviting, I was doing the daily tasks. But when I was Emerald and I was inviting and hitting Success Club, I was consistently making enough. I was consistently making a couple $100s a month. When I actually skipped Ruby and went to Diamond, and that was consistently making enough to pay for my mortgage. So each rank, it bumps you up in pay because you're cycle bonusing with the number of people that are underneath you. You're earning commission off of your sales. So you're going to see a natural increase through rank. I will say this, rank is not be all end all. For some people, it is a driving force. For like Christy Kynard, she's on our team, in our commit crew team, and she's amazing. But she's very much driven by rank advancements and elite and premier. For me, even though I totally want all those things, for me, it's the financial side of things. So who gives a crap if I'm 5-star diamond if I'm not making enough to meet my bills? You know what I mean? So for me, it's important to build a foundation of a loving community and a tribe that I'm passionate about caring for, and the finances come into play and just naturally flow versus being stressed out about team performance and things like that. So it's just remember that there's no right or wrong way to this. But it is important to set a rank goal. With that, set a time frame. So for me, Jennifer gave me an incentive to rank to Emerald. I never would have ranked to Emerald as soon as I did without her and that motivating, hey, I have a gift for you if you're going to rank to Emerald. And I was like, I'm motivated by prizes. Some people aren't like that. Some people are motivated by words of affirmation. So that doesn't work. I've learned that the hard way with some of my coaches. That doesn't work for some people. But set a time frame, because if you don't have a specific time frame that you're working towards with a rank goal, then you're just going to be doing the motions and feel like you're spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere. So for me, diamond, people think diamond is so scary. And in the grand scheme of things, it's really not, because all you're doing is multiplying. So when you rank, if you can rank to Emerald, you can rank to diamond. You're just adding. It literally is just a domino effect. So for Emerald, you add 2 people. The next month, add 2 more people, 2 more coaches. The next month, you add 2 more. And eventually, in your discount coaches, somewhere in there, you'll start having Emeralds. And then you'll rank to diamond. So it's literally 4 people on each side, and 1 on each side is Emerald. And that's all you have to have for for diamond. It's 8 people. That's it. So you're just multiplying your efforts for rank advances. So let me make sure I covered everything. No. The next thing is know where you're at every single week. So on Wednesdays, you should be logging into your back office, checking all of your downline, checking to see who's going to be active the next day, who's not going to be active. I'm happy to show you if you don't know where to find that. But it's important because you don't want to be surprised on Thursday morning when rank advancements or downwards, backwards way happens and somebody went inactive and you weren't prepared to lose diamond rank. It's very defeating. It's very frustrating. And it's not a fun experience to go through. But knowing it ahead of time, you can either A, do something about it, or B, just mentally prepare. But you should be checking your back office every Wednesday to make sure that on Thursday you're not surprised. I had a 1 month, and I still have this. I have a 1 month, a 3 month, and a 6 month rank goal. So for me, I would like to be 1-star diamond qualifying. What that means is that I have 1 person underneath me that's diamond. That's going to be my husband. I've almost got him to a diamond. So the neat thing is that if you have your husband signed up, so Heidi, you'll be blessed in this area. With Daniel signed up underneath you, when he ranks to diamond, then you'll be 1-star qualifying if you have enough numbers. So it automatically makes it easier. But I'm building his business, so I've almost got him to diamond. My 1 month goal is in 1 month to have him at diamond so that I can be 1-star qualifying. My 3 month goal is to have 1 other person at diamond so I can be 2-star qualifying. My 6 month goal, so you break it down so that you have a visual and you set a time frame. I do not be defeated. So let me share this with you guys. So going into this, the fall, Jennifer and I did a huge vision casting with the team. It was phenomenal. It was awesome. I just loved it. You should go back and watch it if you haven't seen it, if you weren't there. But she and I set some pretty lofty goals for the end of the year. And we're new at this. We don't have any idea what the crap we're doing. So we were like, I want to be 5-star by the end of the year. It's great to have lofty goals, but was not realistic. And our team, we became so rank focused that our team fell apart. And we pushed coaches that weren't ready to be pushed. and we weren't meeting our coaches where they're at. And that was a really painful learning experience as a leader. But I am so thankful that it happened early on in my business, because it was a gut check. It was like, oh, God was saying, look, you meet people where you're at. Don't be so dang selfish. And that's where I'm at with my coaches now. I want to love my coaches where they're at. I want to support them where they're at. I will push them if they want to be pushed, but I'm not going to set my expectations on any one of you guys. And so with rank advancements, the key for me was I realized, because I had a goal, I needed to be 2-star qualifying last week in order to reach my goal for the year and be able to go to New Leadership Conference. And so for me, I fell so very short of that goal. But you know what? I still grew my business. It's still taking care of my family. I have an amazing community that I love to death. And I'm very, very blessed. And I'm not defined by that rank. And you know what? The key is the next day, I was back inviting. The next day, I was back at my girl boss to-do list. And so it was picking back up and realizing, even if you don't make your goal, that you are still propelling your business forward. And that is so huge. So that I really wanted to stress that, because sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves. It's good to have a time frame. I highly encourage you to have a time frame, but if you miss it, that you don't crucify yourself over it. Okay. I went into that already. With rank advancement, your focus is going to be on recruiting. And that doesn't mean recruiting business builders necessarily. That means just recruiting coaches, discount coaches, friends, family, whoever, but you're growing your team naturally underneath you. And eventually those discount coaches might say, wow, I have an amazing transformation, and people are asking me about it. Maybe I could actually do this too. And so that's how your team will grow naturally. But your key is going to be recruiting with rank advancements. Is you just got to constantly be adding to your team, and never, ever, ever, this is something I've also learned the hard way, rely on discount coaches. People who are on your team, as a discount coach, you got to love on them, support them, but you can't rely on them for a rank, because finances might hit them hard and they might put their shakes on hold. They go inactive, you lose rank. But if each month, for me, there's no way I could lose diamond. I would have to have everybody on my team go inactive. But because I have so many discount coaches underneath me, I'm stacked to where I don't ever have to worry about it. I have a ton of inactive coaches, like a ton, y'all. I have 50 people in my downline, and probably 25 of them are inactive. And that's just the reality. That's the nature of the beast. And I've got coach cancellation forms, so that's okay, but I'm constantly focusing on recruiting and constantly growing my business, never staying stagnant. Okay, so that was number 4. Oh, dear heavens. I really hope so I was on the phone with Alice today, and my son ripped here we go. Hey, I found it. Oh, heavens. All right, 5, daily activities. Good. I didn't want to miss that. I would be really upset if I couldn't find my notes. Daily activities. The very first thing you do is to create a vision for your business at the beginning of the month. So you have goals. These are all the 4 categories we just talked about. Set up what you want to achieve that month, and then backwards engineer. So here's an example for me. My monthly vision for December. I want to run 1 challenge group. Y'all already know I'm doing that. I want to run 1 free group. 3 challenge groups, yes. 1 free group. So I'm running free groups now. I know Megan is the boss at free groups. So she's going to lead a call at some point on how to master the free groups. So I'm running a free group, a challenge group. My non-negotiable is to hit Success Club 10. And then I want to make I won't share but I want to make X amount of dollars in the month of December so that I can pay my mortgage and my groceries. And then I want to add 2 coaches to my network. So those are my December goals. What do I have to do to achieve that? I have to set a weekly goal. So weekly goal, that means I need to sell 2 challenge packs every single week in order to achieve that goal, and sign 1 coach every week in order to achieve that goal. I have to plan a week ahead with my groups. So the week before, the Saturday before the Monday, so a week and a couple days, I will sit down and plan out either my challenge group posts, my social media, I'm not very good at Teampage yet. I'm working on it. Stay tuned. And then my free group. So I'll sit down and plan out my posts a week at a time. Usually I will do it a month at a time, but minimum of a week at a time. So then I have to break that down into a daily vision. So what do I have to do to accomplish those goals that I set out for the month? Well, that means that I have to do my power hour every day. That means I have to be sending out invites because people aren't going to come to me, as wonderful as that would be. If everybody just came to me and said, here's my money, let me help you. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. But sending out my invites and focusing on the power of threes. So at bare minimum, if I can get in 3 invites, 3 new ads, 3 connections, speak with 3 of my customers, then I know that at the end of my week, I will more than likely have reached my goal. So those are the basics of goal setting. So those are the 5 kind of overarching categories, and then broken down in how I go about it. There's this whole concept, and I'm not going to go into it here, but I will post the link in the team page. There's an entire National Wake Up Call about SMART goal setting. But it's an acronym. I think that's what it's called. Basically, that's each letter stands for something. So S is specific. M is meaningful. A is attainable. R is realistic. And T is time-based. So when you're thinking about your goals, these are the things that when you're setting your goals, does it meet those criteria? Is being 2-star diamond in the next 30 days realistic? No. But is being a 1-star qualifying in the next 30 days? Yeah, that's realistic. So setting a goal that kind of meets those standards, and then I'll share the National Wake Up Call that goes into all of this in more detail because it's a phenomenal concept. And I don't know if anybody listened to the last National Wake Up Call. You hear that theme? That's like a reoccurring theme. We should all be listening to the National Wake Up Call. Is Becky Brossett, I think is how you say her last name. She's amazing. She's a feisty little 5-foot-something girl from Florida, and she and her sister have built this huge Diesel Nation team down in Florida where they said Beachbody would never succeed, and they proved them wrong. But she did a whole call this week on winning the day, celebrating the small wins. And that's something I want to stress is it's very easy to get defeated when you set goals and don't reach them. And it's important when that happens to win the day. So for me, when I missed by a huge amount my 2-star goal, I sat back and I said, you know what though? I hit Success Club, whatever, and I changed X amount of lives this month. That's phenomenal. That's however many people that I was able to help this month. Celebrating that win. At the end of the day, if you got your power hour, celebrate that crap. So, woo, got my power hour in. Shout it out to the team. Shout out to the mountains. I don't care. Sometimes in our daily life, that is the biggest and hardest task to do is the power hour. And making sure you get that in and celebrating that when you do. Who cares if someone didn't buy a challenge pack that day? You got your power hour in and you invested in your business and you did the work and the steps, and it will pay off in the end. Visualize your goals by writing them on paper. There's something to me about having it on pen and paper, seeing it. So when I wrote down my 2017 goals today, I was like, I got so excited. I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can hit these goals. These are attainable. This is something that I can do. But having that and putting it somewhere where you can see it. So on the days that we don't want to do our power hour and the days where we would just rather watch Netflix instead of do our power hour, I see some smiles. This is what you focus on is your goals and what you're pushing for. So writing them down, putting them somewhere where you can visualize it. I know that like Christy has it on the backdrop of her, and I think Jennifer, you might have this too, on the backdrop of your computer. So it's the back screen, the first thing you see when you open up your computer, and I think that's amazing. So each day you remember, why are you doing this? You can put your vision board on your computer screen. Share your goals. When you sit down and write down your goals, share them. Share them with a friend in your team. Share them with a Success Club partner. Share them with your upline. so that we can encourage and support you. And then be honest about how much accountability you want in those goals. This is a very crucial piece of it, because as your upline, our deep desire is to help you reach your goals. But there's one thing about reaching your goals, and there was one thing about holding you accountable to your goals. And some people don't like that second piece, and that's okay. But you have to be honest about that. And if you start to feel, oh, this is making me overwhelmed, this is making me feel anxious, tell us, because it's better for us to hit that head on so that we can encourage you and love on you and support you and guide you with where you might be struggling, instead of ignoring it and then one day it all just kind of blowing up in both our faces. I say that because I've had this experience before. That was the next one. Be forthcoming with your upline when you're feeling overwhelmed. And remember that one bad day in your business doesn't and shouldn't derail you. It's hard. This business is, and I heard this in a call, this business is not hard. Hard work is being a firefighter. Hard work is being a policeman. Hard work is being in the military and going out and fighting for our country. Being a coach is a blessing. Being a coach is a huge blessing to our life. Is it an easy line of work? No, it's not easy, but hard is not hard. It just takes dedication and commitment and drive and the resilience to not give up when you have a day or a week that derails you. If you have a week that derails you, gosh, we have those weeks. November has been a rotten month for me. I went 2 whole weeks without getting my power hour in, and my nerves were like, oh, I just couldn't. My son's not sleeping, and I can't, there's literally physically no time for me to fit it in that I'm awake and conscious and not sending out weird messages to people that I don't need to invite. So I would encourage you to remember that one bad day or week or month or whatever shouldn't derail your business. And sharing that on social media, that's the one thing that I did right this month, is continue to share everything relentlessly in my journey, in my life, on social media, so that people still know that they're still watching me. Even if I'm not doing things perfect this month, I'm still sharing it, and they're still watching me, and I still have credibility with my network. I hope that was helpful. When I was writing them down, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. And then I was like, am I really giving them information that's helpful? So I'm going to hit stop, and then we'll do questions. So here we go.